Konnichiwa and welcome to episode 27 of the Leadership Japan podcast. And I'm your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story, president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan. And much more importantly, you are a student of leadership, highly motivated to be the best in your business field. If you'd like to have your own access to 102 years of the accumulated wisdom of Dale Carnegie Training through free white papers, guidebooks, reports, training videos, blogs, course information, plus much more, then go to japan.dalecarnegie.com. Today's topic is how to run sales meetings that work. Public floggings and massive humiliation will continue until morale improves. That is a very neat description of the vast majority of sales meetings I have participated in over the years as a salesperson. We read a lot about how to hold more productive work meetings, standing up, distributing pre-meeting agendas, minutes being kept with follow-up designations, highly strict start and finish times. But I am struggling to think when I last saw something on sales meetings. You might think this is a limited and specialized function within an enterprise, and that the sales managers know what they are doing. Good luck with that one. Keep dreaming. The vast majority of sales managers are untrained and merely parrot what they've seen in their previous companies. They were recognized for their individual sales production and were promoted to a leadership role. This usually occurs without gaining any training on the way through or on how to morph from being one of the sales team to becoming the sales leader. In this new role, they run the same sales meetings they have seen, so there is a terrific continuity. Unfortunately, it is of the lowest value. A sales team's time is one of the most high-value resources in any enterprise. There are two reasons for this. The time in front of the client, face-to-face, has the highest value, and everything that happens outside that frame should and must support that activity. Anything that doesn't is an opportunity cost of potentially not realizing sales. There is also the cost of salary wasted on low return activities. If you have large numbers of people participating in the sales meetings and you calculate the hourly cost for them to be there, and I don't mean just thinking about their base salary calculation, think about last year's total remuneration calculation, and then add in the hourly opportunity cost of not being out in front of clients getting sales, then the costs become substantially scary. Most sales meetings are a review of the current results and some feedback on key clients. When 20% of your sales team produce 80% of the results, this is a very challenging time for the 80% of people producing 20% of the results. It can involve some pointed questions, harsh tones, accusatory glances, outright haranguing or humiliation on a devastating scale. Rather than speak with an individual separately, your choice to metaphorically chain them to a post in the town square and flog them for their sins is not an uncommon preference among Japanese sales leaders. Sales managers throwing inanimate objects, accompanied by verbal abuse at failing salespeople, is the thing of a legend here in Japan. This is especially so in the over 50s age bracket, who saw plenty of that in their youth and now share the wonder of that experience with this current generation. A sales manager meltdown is a thing of terror and decimates the motivation of the team. When I rode Space Mountain at Disneyland many years ago, it reminded me of a sales life. There are moments when you are calmly cruising along at a controllable pace, moving ever upwards. There are major ups and downs, and there is the buffeting by wild swings in every direction over which you have zero control. Your emotions are never steady in sales. It's like that roller coaster. The exhilaration of the sale is numerically rare, while the despair of failure is the norm. Now, given this fact, we need to consider the psychological component of the activity and the appropriate structure of the sales meeting to lift the spirits of a team facing rejection on a daily basis. So, here are a few thoughts on running the sales meeting. Let's begin with an inspirational opening to the meeting to set the tone. It should be brief and inspiring, and each time taken in turn by each person in the meeting to lead that part of the early part of the meeting. Number 2, communication of key information about events, schedules, new products, or processes are necessary but should be kept brief. 3, goal reporting should be against annual targets and goals broken down to weekly targets. If the target has not been achieved, the sales manager, instead of telling all assembled how useless they are, can instead focus on getting them to realize what they need to be doing to improve the results. In a sea of rejection, a toxic sea of rejection, the sales manager must offer salespeople words of hope so they can keep going and try harder against all odds. 4, customer updates are a great opportunity to share information about what everyone is doing. This often flags that two salespeople are talking to the very same company, but perhaps to different sections in that company, so some coordination requirement is revealed. It also offers great best practice ideas and examples, which are crowdsourced learning opportunities for everybody in the room. This needs to be worked on proactively and the key learnings drawn out from the salesperson by the impresario, the sales manager. Number 5, training components in the sales meeting don't have to be elaborate. Simple role play practice on specific components of the sales call can be isolated out for attention. Questioning skills reviews can never be overdone for salespeople. Generally, most people in sales have weak questioning skills, don't know how to set up the questioning skills properly. So practicing that component, the smooth easing into asking questions, the actual asking of questions, bit of role play on that works a treat. The sales manager's role is to coach the activity and praise what is being done well and articulate what can be done better, not to criticize. 6, recognizing people is like a lost art in the rough and tough world of sales. It shouldn't be like the 1950s revisited. It should be there prominent in the sales meeting. Don't save up the praise for a rainy day, sales managers, and have drought until that time. If good is being done, seize it, praise it, encourage it, go early, don't wait. Also, don't forget to recognize the support team who make the star salesperson's life function more easily. Get salesperson commitment to the activities which will drive the results. We should all know our ratios. How many people do I have to call in order to speak with a certain number of people? Of those I actually get to speak with, how many can I expect to gain an appointment with? And of those that I manage to get an appointment with, how many will buy from me? What is the average size of my sale? And how will that relate to the target that I have to achieve this week? It all hinges around having the motivation and the commitment to put in the effort to drive the activities in the sufficient volumes required to hit the ratios that will produce the revenue outcomes to match the targets. Now we need to get the salespeople's commitment each week to make that effort. And finally, number 8, end with an inspirational close to end the meeting on a high note. So there are 8 segments of a sales meeting. try and get the whole team behind the direction we want to go, get them motivated, put up with all the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune of a sales life. Crappy clients, bad meetings, rejection, emotional roller coaster, targets that seem impossible to achieve, base and commission not providing enough income because you're not making enough sales, or you can't close the sales fast enough, or the client's never on your schedule of when you need the sale to happen. So let's rethink the sales meeting and just get away from a simple interrogation, humiliation, public flogging exercise into something that is motivational and help people to get out there and be a success in sales. This is the critical function of the sales manager. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan podcast. Remember to access your Dale Carnegie free training white papers, guidebooks, training videos, blogs, course information, plus much more, then go to japan.dalecarnegie.com.